What's going on, folks? This is Adam from Breakthrough Comics as well as Resolve Comics. Here with another chapter breakdown of My Hero Academia 405. Before we get started, go ahead, just a little reminder, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at resolvecomicsofficial. Let's go ahead and get into this breakdown. Alright, so first page. All Might is in shock. Shigaraki's eating crow. All for One is kind of pissed, but he's trying not to show it. Deku's fucking in shock, and Bakugo is still 10 toes down, declaring victory already. So we snap back to All Might's perspective. He's locked into a conversation with what his consciousness perceives to be Night Eye, or a representative of Night Eye. And they're just, talking about how, once again, flashback to the Night Eye arc, the future has been changed, right? And flip to the next page, we're pretty much at the culmination of this theme that started all the way back in the Night Eye arc, where the future can shift when everybody puts their energies together. And it kind of ends off with Night Eye telling All Might, like, you are a hero, but you're also human and you deserve to live. All right, we're on to the next page. Boom, 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 boom. All right, people can't even see. They're trying to figure out who is that just caught All Might. What just happened? People are trying to figure out what's going on. One of Bakugo's bracers on his arm flies off. People start to recognize him. They're like, oh, isn't that the kid who got kidnapped? That's the kid who had to get restrained at the sports festival. Who is that? Da-da-da. It's Bakugo. If you remember if you watched the second My Hero Academia movie, those are the two kids from that movie. They recognize Bakugo, and then you got, All Might. He's safe. He's on the ground. They landed. He's looking up at Bakugo. He's like, yo, are you okay? Like, what's Jesus? He's stunned. Bakugo replies, that's my lines, you old banged up bag of bones. And then he coughs up blood as soon as he... So cut to the first panel of the next page, and Edgeshot is basically repeating Bakugo, being like, nah, kid, that's actually my line. And then, he pokes out of Bakugo's chest as he finishes stitching up the hole. Everybody's like, Edgeshot, what the hell? We thought you died, yada, yada, yada. Well, as it turns out, he is still alive, and he was able to mend Bakugo's broken bones and close his holes. He was able to essentially hold Bakugo together, but he didn't heal him. So he pretty much is like, yo, this is not a good body to be moving around in. Everything is still going to hurt. To which Bakugo is like, yeah, I know. Thank you for allowing me to live. And then this is kind of where we get a nice little revelation, and we get just more context or more information as to what just happened with Bakugo, right? So we get kind of put into a small flashback of when Edgeshot was trying to revive Bakugo, and basically he did close up his heart, he did kind of mend his bones, and he was performing CPR, but Bakugo wasn't coming back. And it was because in order to repair Bakugo, as you know, if you've been reading, Edgeshot had to use a move that basically eats away at his own life. He's basically using his own body to heal or, sew Bakugo together. But it eats at his own life force. So as Edgeshot was at his limit, and it was kind of him or Bakugo, he saw one of the little sweat droplets that, I guess in Bakugo's bloodstream, and it may have exploded and pretty much forcefully jump-started Bakugo's heart again. So in other words, it was Bakugo's quirk that he had strengthened that brought him back to life. So if Bakugo's quirk hadn't strengthened and evolved into full-body explosion, he may not be alive at this point in the story. And I think the last two panels of this page leading into the next page probably is one of my favorite moments of this series thus far. All Might calls Bakugo over. He's like, give me your arm, young man. And basically he's like, this is not a weapon. It's not going to do its original job, but it can at least serve as a splint for your arm. And then he addresses him by his hero name, Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite. I'm sorry, I can't give you more. But like, just look at this moment, right? This is like a parallel to All Might. Like, I just feel like All Might and Bakugo's relationship is like pretty much equal to All Might and Deku's relationship at this moment. It's like this kind of parallels All Might giving Deku one for all, even though he can't, he's just like, I can't give you anything. I can't give you a quirk. I can't give you any weapons or support. This is all I can give you is this splint. If you look at Bakugo's face and the smile on his face, it's like, it's almost as if he's come full circle from when he was fighting with Deku behind the school, like screaming and wondering, why did you get one or all for one? Why did All Might pick you? Like da 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 da. Why didn't he pick me? And it's like now All Might's kind of giving him something. Like this is something between them that's been passed on. And I think this moment is just so incredibly special. And I think you can see it. Like Bakugo, for the first time in the series, gives like a genuine, heartfelt, warm smile, because he's just like, yo. So I don't know. This is, I just went fucking crazy. Dropped a thug tear over this. This shit is my favorite moment, bar none, from the series. Now we get to the next page, and All For One is sweating bullets. He's looking at Bakugo like, I know this little motherfucker did not just do that to me. And he's contemplating going after them in that second, but he's also like, no, I need to finish this. Like, I need to get my new body. So for the moment, he is like, all right, we're gonna let All Might go. We're gonna move towards Shigaraki. But he takes a second to reflect on how annoying everything has been and how things have just gone so not his way. Not the way he anticipated, not the way he set up, not the way he planned. So he reflects on all these faces of the people who have kind of stood against him and knocked his plan off of its axis. And in the very last panel, you get a shot of All For One looking at something like kind of in terror, right? Like, this is the actual look of terror that every anime antagonist gives when like the protagonist gets that power boost, is about to start whooping their ass, right? So we're wondering, like, what's he looking at? Ta-da! It's Bakugo, and he's just back in full form. He's back to shit talking. Bakugo almost looks like a villain himself, and it's just like, we're getting pure Bakugo, like this raw aggression that almost looks kind of villainous, but he's still a good guy because All Might is his hero and he wants to be just like All Might. He's going at All For One with like 100% aggression, and I don't know, I'm just looking forward to seeing this battle, bro. Also, let's talk about how freaking quickly Bakugo moved from All Might's position back to All For One. Bakugo is really like All Might level right now. I think this panel or this page in itself proves or kind of reinforces just how strong Bakugo has gotten since his last battle. Like, this boy has mastered Cluster with full body, and he's moving at All Might speeds. He's surpassed All Might, and it looks like he's pretty much surpassed All For One. It looks like he's about to give All For One the business. And I also love that he's like talking his shit, because this is once again pure Bakugo. Like, we're once again back to like Bakugo's back to his kind of original self, where he's like he's in his element. He's back to being the strongest. He's in a state where he feels like he's the strong. Let me get into this for a second. I think, especially after Bakugo got wounded by Shigaraki / All For One, something changed within him, and it really forced him to confront, like, because he had been training with Deku to master Black Whip, and he had been keeping up with them. Like, before they fought Shigaraki together, in Bakugo's head, he had been keeping up with Deku, and he was still on par to like possibly being better than Deku or like surpassing All Might. Like, he was still in the race, right? I don't know if y'all remember, but right after Shigaraki put a hole in Gran Torino and both Bakugo and Deku started racing towards their position, but Shigaraki got up, sped like in their direction, but went straight past them because they were both going towards each other at full speed. and Shigaraki was then headed towards Aizawa to claw his eye out. And so Bakugo and Deku both had to, like, kind of like a suicide, like when you know, run really quick, stop, pivot, and then run back in the opposite direction. They had to do that, but Deku was faster. And it's like, if you notice, if you watch the anime or read the manga, you could see that, like, that kind of, like, Bakugo noticed that in that moment. And that, plus him getting stabbed with by All For One / Shigaraki, and then him, like, you know, him in 1A having to, like, take down Deku and kind of feeling his strength. Again, it's like you could see Bakugo, like, was humble. Like, and it's not like he was, like, humbled in a bad way, but, like, you saw the character progression along with him apologizing to Deku and everything like that. He was like, he came from a place of humility after the fight with Shigaraki initially, right? And then, you know, you have the Deku versus Class 1A thing, and he's still, like, humble. He's still showing this excellent character development all the way until, you know, this final battle. And the first part of that, when he faces off with Shigaraki, faces off against Shigaraki with everybody else, and you see how he's emphasizing teamwork. He's doing everything that he never did in the beginning, and that he's grown to be able to do. And I think that kind of makes it a bit more heartbreaking when you see Shigaraki still, like, dog walk him, break his arm, and tell him how he's not good enough and he'll never catch up to Deku, right? Because you want Bakugo to, like, you want, with this amazing character change, you want him to also grow stronger, you know, to kind of showcase that a little bit. But when he still, you know, ran up against the obstacle of not being strong enough to kind of stand in the same arena, it was still like, he still, especially in that moment, he couldn't talk his shit, right? Now, Bakugo, I'm pretty sure, can face off against Shigaraki if he wanted to. And he's facing off against All For One. So, like, it's like he's back to being in that position that he's used to being in. But now he has this wonderful character development to go along with it, as you can see with him showing that genuine warm smile to All Might, because he's never expressed himself like that to anybody. So it's like, he has the strength, he has the character, he's all good. And now we see him talking his shit, and he's back to being Bakugo. And I'm so, like, I want to see this guy kick some ass. As always, man, if you like the video, then, well, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the content. Please help us grow. Give me a follow at Breakthrough Comics on Twitter, Breakthrough Comics on Instagram, and Resolve Comics Official on Instagram as well. You can find us on Facebook as well at Breakthrough Comics. And yeah, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to keep them coming. I think pretty soon I'm going to go ahead and review Kagurabachi, or I may begin to do One Piece anime reviews. But either way, I'll let y'all know. I may post an update or something like that, maybe a short or a video or announcement, something like that. But either way, we'll let you know what's coming down the pipeline. And like I said, give me a follow, give me a share, tell people about me, and I hope you enjoyed the content. Peace.